Welcome to TYT RotoWire. I'm Heather Ankeny along with Ben Mankiewicz, Chris Liss, working the wire heading into Week 11. This is probably do or die for some people right now as far as fantasy team goes. You're either trying to get into the playoffs or about to be ousted from the playoffs.
Right. Or you have no hope of being in the playoffs. We'll cover that segment later.
Yes, for sure. So let's do a quick rundown.
In which case,
Who you
you
looking
can
at?
safely ignore this segment. Okay, so
or not.
I'm just going to throw a few guys out there. This is not necessarily comprehensive, but Ben, feel free to comment. C.J. Anderson's the obvious. Ronnie Hillman hurt his foot. It's very costly to me in some leagues. Whatever, you don't care. And C.J. Anderson filled in and didn't miss a beat. He was perfectly good.
Looked like a Bronco running back. Looked like just Shanahan days where you just put the guy in and the running backs go.
Even with Monty Ball coming back, you're not super worried?
Well, no, I mean, that is an issue. And I have Monty Ball on this list, too, in case he were dropped. Someone's going to get the carries. It's probably going to be one of those two guys. There's not really a lot of mention of Juwan Thompson. And so you got to pick them both up. And if you need someone for this week, there's still 4 teams on bye. I think Monty Ball, C.J. Anderson, follow the reports on RotoWire up till Friday. You know, who's getting the first team reps. I think there may be production for both in this game against the Rams. So those are two guys. I actually thought Jonathan Stewart looked good. Damian Williams destroyed the game. He fumbled, he missed blocks, he getting stuffed on 3rd and short. Jonathan Stewart ran well. I think if you need a Panthers running back, they're going against one of the worst run defenses in the entire league at home against Atlanta. I think Jonathan Stewart is a good desperation play.
I still am stunned that those guys are on the Panthers as the 2 running backs splitting carries. I don't get it. I'm baffled by it. It seems contrary to everything that has happened in football over the last 20 years, that those guys are still, it seems like it's the 1970s, and you're like, oh, Williams and Stewart, they're the Panthers running backs.
They're counting on Cam Newton a lot to run, too.
They preserved them for a long time. It was sort of like they invested in a couple Ferraris that they kept in the garage, and they were too expensive to use, and so they just used them now and then. So they preserved over the years, and now they're no longer. They're I don't know what they are now. They're not Ferraris anymore. But he still looked competent, and I think that in a bye week,
if he's available and against the Falcons, pick up Jonathan Stewart.
Caught a few passes. He looked okay, and Cam Newton looks a little gimpy. I think they're going to rely more on those guys.
Poor Cam Newton.
Damian Williams on the Dolphins looked good. I mean, when Lamar Miller, kind of got eased out of the game because he was banged up, and I know Miller's supposed to be healthy this week, but we'll see. It's a Thursday game. I like Damian Williams. I thought he looked good. He looked like he had a little bit of vision, a little bit of patience. Lamar Miller's a good athlete, but he just seems to run wherever the tackler is. He may get there quickly, but he didn't look like a real running back.
Right into the tackler.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's further up the field when he finds that guy than, I like him. Obviously, Adrian Peterson, we covered that last week. Just on the off chance he plays, you got to pick him up.
But he's probably not playing this week. Actually, I read something that that won't be resolved until November 22nd.
Perhaps, but you still got to pick him up.
But now would be the time to get him.
Yeah, I'll get him now. Before you have to.
If morally you want to.
Yeah, if you are not
go back
deluded
to
into thinking this is actually a moral question. Yeah. Terrence West, I don't know if he's still on waiver wires, but he was the lead dog in that backfield. Got a touchdown. They each got a touchdown. They each got more than 10 carries. It's not ideal, but again, look, it's bye week. It's attrition. You might have drafted Zach Stacy. You need running backs.
Who is on bye this week?
The
London
Jets,
team?
the Jaguars, the Cowboys, and one other
two
team.
London teams.
The
Jets,
Ravens?
Cowboys.
Is it the Ravens? Yes, the
Okay.
Ravens. Those are the 4. All right, so this is the running backs. A couple tight ends. Kyle Rudolph may be back. He's getting close. That's someone to look at. Michael Rivera of the Raiders has scored, I think, in 3 straight weeks.
That was so garbage, though.
Hey, garbage.
I know,
Garbage is where the Raiders.
garbage
That's where the Raiders make their money, is in garbage. They're in the garbage business. They're like Tony Soprano. And then Charles Clay got a lot of little dump offs in that game.
And dropped for the 2nd straight week some significant, important throws. 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, but they still used him at least.
But he got targeted,
And so those are a couple tight ends to use. Jordan Matthews is the big wide receiver from last night. I wouldn't count on that because Macklin barely did anything, and they spread it around. But clearly, they know Matthews is talented, and I think that because Sanchez is the QB and probably did a lot of practicing with Matthews, where he wasn't working with the first team a lot, that may be a good match, that they have good rapport together. It certainly shows.
Also, there's just a guy who's now been in the league maybe enough time. So always with young receivers, they're likely, the good ones, the ones who are going to turn out to be good players, are likely to do better the first half of the first year that they play do better in the second half in the first year they play than in the first half, just because they start the game starts opening up to them. I'm like, oh no, I run here, I got it. Just all of a sudden you see it, you're not thinking, you're just playing, and maybe that's starting to happen with Jordan Matthews.
The rookie class this year, receivers, the whole other segment we can do, but this is perhaps going to go down as the greatest rookie class of receivers in NFL history. I mean, there were so many guys, and now Matthews just added himself. You know, he always had the size, speed, specs, and the right system. Now he gets, chance to go off. Definitely pick him up. I'm going to add someone else that nobody likes right now, and with good reason, Michael Floyd. I suspect
really?
He's been dropped.
Everyone's like saying welcome to Dumpsville on Michael Floyd.
That's right.
That's why you
But
want
you
to
think
get
Drew
him.
Stanton likes Floyd better than
I think Drew
Fitzgerald?
Stanton threw to him at least when he was
Yeah.
in. I don't know if Floyd was it was banged up or what, but this is a 6'3", 230-pound man who can go up, great hands, gets the ball, and has 4.45 speed or whatever he has. He's at the peak of his career. He's in year 3 or 4. I think he's in year 3 right now. I just think I have no explanation for why he hasn't been used, unless there's some latent injury we don't know about. So I just think, just don't worry about it. Just pick him up. You don't start him this week, but you just see what happens.
That's a bold statement right there.
I mean,
You're
it's-
going against most every other.
He had 65 receptions for more than 1,000 yards last year, and he was clearly getting better. He was significantly improved from his first year in 2012. This is his third year. And then this year, it's just been a dramatic step backward. And so, like when Chris says, I don't know if he's banged up. I don't know. We haven't heard anything except that I imagine that he was clearly emerging.
Right.
Like we weren't wrong. I don't think we were wrong.
Right.
And I suspect this is just a 9 game. It's a random 9 games where he didn't play well. I wouldn't be at all surprised if in the next 7 he played better, no matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah. And then obviously I'm going to throw out Josh Gordon. He's not coming back this week, but he's coming back week 12. I'm pretty sure someone has stashed him long ago, but just in case, just check.
Cool. All right. Good luck. Good luck in week 11. And thank you for watching. Be sure to check out rotowire.com/TYT for all the articles at RotoWire. Thanks.